Well, good evening, Sumter School District boys and girls, and welcome to another evening of Reading with the Superintendent. Thank you for returning, and we appreciate having such a wonderful audience as we continue to engage in reading while having fun. Tonight, we're going to be reading the book Where the Wild Things Are. And this is a book that is a special request from a very special friend of mine who's a principal, and this is one of her favorite books. So, Mrs. Miller, this is for you. So as we prepare our audience, let me remind you, I need your undivided attention. So 1, 2, 3, all eyes on me. 1, 2, eyes on you. Let's begin to read Where the Wild Things Are, where the stories and pictures are by Maurice Sendak. You ready? Let's take a journey where the wild things are. Where the wild things are. The night Max wore his wolf suit and made mischief of one kind. Mischief is getting into things he shouldn't be getting into. And another. His mother called him Wild Thing. And Max said, I'll eat you up. So he went to bed without anything to eat. Well, good evening, Sumter School District boys and girls, and welcome to another evening of Reading with the Superintendent. I thank you for joining me as we continue to read and have fun while doing so. This evening, we'll be reading the book To Explore Our Imagination of Where the Wild Things Are. And this book and pictures and story were written by and drawn by Maurice Sendak. I don't know if many of you have read this book. If you have, let's take pleasure in reading, and if Well, good evening, Sumter School District boys and girls, and welcome to another evening of Reading with the Superintendent. I thank you for returning so that we can continue to engage in reading while having fun. Tonight, we're going to read a very special book that was a special request from a friend of mine, who's also a principal, Mrs. Kalisha Miller, who's actually sent in a special request. So this is not only just for our children to enjoy, but for some of our leaders as well. The wild things, a part of our imagination. I'm ready to read. So I need to make sure you're with me. 1, 2, 3, all eyes on me. I heard you. Good job. 1, 2, eyes on you. Let's begin. Where the wild things are. The night Max wore his wolf suit and made mischief of one kind. It's Max. And another. Max is just getting into a lot of mischief. His mother called him Wild Thing, and Max said, "I'll eat you up." So he was sent to bed without eating anything. His mother called him Wild Thing, and he told her he would eat her up. Wonder what that means. Let's find out what happens to Max. He went to bed without anything to eat. That very night in Max's room, a forest grew. I've never seen a forest grow in my room. Have you? Max did. Let's find out what's happening here with Max. And grew. Max and his mischief. His mother called him Wild Thing. And grew until his ceiling hung with vines and the walls became the world all around. And an ocean tumbled by with a private boat for Max, and he sailed off through the night and day. Max has a private boat. Is it real, or is it a figment of his imagination? And in and out of weeks, and almost over a year, to where the wild things are. And when he came to the place where the wild things are, they roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. They look scary, the wild things. Max doesn't look bothered either. He doesn't look bothered. Till Max said, "Be still," and tame them with the magic trick of staring into their yellow eyes without blinking once. And they were frightened and called him the most wild thing of all. He used his magic and stared them right in their eyes and told them, without blinking, so they made him king of all wild things. And now, cried Max, let the wild rumpus start. He's having fun with the wild things. Oh, the rumpus is continuing. You had a rumpus, and it's continuing. They're hanging from trees. They look like they're having fun. And look at the king of the wild things, Max. He's having fun. Too much fun. With their yellow eyes. Now go, said Max, and sent the wild things off to bed without their supper. And Max, the king of all wild things, was lonely and wanted to be where someone loved him best of all. I wonder where that is. Then all around from far away, across the world, he smelled good things to eat. So he gave up being king of where the wild things are. Max looked sad. He looks lonely. And he wanted to be where he was loved the most. I wonder where that is. But the wild things cried, "Oh, please don't go. We'll eat you up. We love you so." And Max said, "No." The wild things roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. But Max stepped into his private boat and waved goodbye. and sailed back over a year and in and out of weeks and through a day. That's a trying journey. That's a long day. That's a long time to have that rumpus with the wild things. And into the night of his very own room, where he found what? His supper waiting for him. Back where he's loved. And it was still hot. So I hope you enjoyed this journey we took with Max to where the wild things are. And I hope you understand that Max used his imagination to take this journey. And understand that we expect you to be respectful to your parents and to make sure you have confidence to conquer your fears. Because Max went where the wild things are, and he came back safely to the place where he's loved the most, home. And you are loved the most at home and here in Sumter School District, because we miss you dearly. So thank you for joining us. Mrs. Miller, I hope you're happy with the reading of Where the Wild Things Are, and I look forward to seeing you all the next time as we continue to read and have fun. Good night.